Hello everybody, welcome to the Common Skate Art stream. My name is Brian. How are you guys doing today? Working on Englewood page 8. I wish I could have done more. Just like so much on my plate, you know? I am really trying to get this done. Oops. I apologize for the Control Z. It's just gonna happen. You know what? I can't apologize for that anymore. I'm just gonna have to like make corrections sometimes. I'm sorry. It's just, you know, that's just the way it goes. So I'll try not to talk while it's happening, because I know that that's annoying. I get it. But I'm not going to be able to not do it. So, all right. So anyway, I thought if I'm able to, it depends on the timing. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna check out. If you guys want to hang around for it, we're going to check out the trailer, because I haven't seen it yet, for Terminator Dark Fate, the new Terminator movie that's coming out. A friend of mine who I've known for many, many years. I met him, I knew him ever since art school back in the 90s. And, you know, he's a fucking cinephile. He's a huge movie nerd, and his favorite thing ever is Star Wars. Like, he is the biggest Star Wars fan I have ever known. Okay, and I mean, like, easily the biggest, easily. And the thing about him, have you recovered from the conference yet? Yeah, for the most part. Thanks for asking. Put in the description of every video going forward, I put in, I apologize for the Control Z. Done. Yeah, I'll just do that, right? Anyway, as I was saying, it should probably be something like this. He is the biggest Star Wars nerd, period. Okay? There is none bigger than my friend Dave. And with these new movies, this new trilogy, he and I are not seeing eye to eye on it. And I personally believe, my belief is that the reason why is because he wants these movies so bad to exist, because he's a big Star Wars fan. And you know, it's sort of like, you know how people that are super fans, there are people who are super fans that are extra critical. And I think being extra critical, to a degree, is reasonable. It's reasonable to expect the highest standards for something that you love. But then there are people who are super fans that are it's almost like they're thirst fans, because they love whatever the franchise is, whether it's video games or comics or movies or whatever. They love it so much that they will be happy with whatever is produced. They have like no standards because they just want it. They want their escapism so bad that they have no standards. And so they will find a way to logically justify and defend anything because they just really, really want it. Brian, is that the Terminator with the Anorexia 9000? Yeah, it is. It's that one. By the way, am I too loud? I know that I'm Puerto Rican, so you know we're loud. But do you guys know any fans like that? Are you that kind of fan? Where, you know, as long as the product is being made, you will accept whatever. Like, you just don't care if it's shit. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who is just really critical. And I've seen shit. I mean, like, it's sometimes you just have to get burned a few times before you realize that something is shit. For example, Predator. Okay, I love the Predator franchise. No, that's not right. I love the first Predator movie. It's Predator, the first Predator, to me, like the first RoboCop, is basically a perfect film. It is a perfect film. Okay? That doesn't mean that it's like well acted or deserves an Oscar. It is the perfect piece of entertainment, is what I'm saying. There is nothing that compares to Predator. There just isn't. Okay? So, when they made a sequel, I was like, with Danny Glover or whatever. I was like, nah, it's not a terrible movie, but it didn't really need to exist, in my opinion. It was just people saying, I want more of the Predator. That's the problem is that just saying I want more of something doesn't necessarily guarantee that it will be good, right? I'm not the type of guy that just like doesn't ask questions and only gets excited for new product. I'm the guy that questions whether or not new product should exist. Sometimes, and I used to be the kid, when I was a kid, I always wanted a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China, because I love Big Trouble in Little China. I still do. I think Big Trouble in Little China is another movie that I find to be perfect. And the way that Big Trouble in Little China ends implies a sequel. It implied a sequel, so therefore I thought there should be one. But now I'm like, fuck no, please don't do it. Please, for the love of God, don't make a sequel to that movie. Ever. Ever. Because Hollywood will fuck it up. And the evidence for that was, with John Carpenter at least, was Escape from LA. A movie that no one asked for. I mean, like, Escape from New York is great. It's a great movie. But Escape from LA should never have existed. Surfing in LA with fucking CGI sharks or whatever it was green screen. It was terrible. All right, whatever it was. That should never have happened. That was an affront to filmmaking. And that's an example of what I'm talking about. So my point is, my friend, he loves Star Wars. He doesn't care what it is. He watches everything, like all the cartoons. He watches all of the CGI things. Like, he was into Clone Wars, which Clone Wars was pretty good, I admit. I thought it was pretty good. But, he watched Rebels. I don't know, whatever it was, whatever. The only thing he didn't like was the expanded universe. He didn't like that because in his mind it wasn't canon, because it wasn't like anointed by fucking, George Lucas or whatever. So the new movies are coming out, and he not only defended The Force Awakens, but he actually like subtly tried to imply that I have a problem with women because I didn't like it. And I was like, no, Dave, it's because it's shit. There are people who were like, well, I was okay with Star Wars until The Last Jedi came out. Dude, did you watch The Force Awakens? That was a shit movie. It was really bad. Yeah, The Last Jedi is worse. I'll grant you that. But that doesn't mean that The Force Awakens was an absolute trash. Like, I'm sorry, but I would rather watch The Phantom Menace on fucking loop than watch The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens was awful. The Phantom Menace was a fail, but at least they tried to make a good movie. Jesus Christ. So, and like the thing about the prequels, as much shit as they get, the thing about the prequels is, you gotta admit, the memes that came out of them are pretty glorious. So the memes are what make it great. That make the prequels sort of stand the test of time, right? Especially the Palpatine memes. I love the Palpatine memes from the prequels. The Palpatine, it's basically his movies, to be honest. The prequels are Palpatine's movies. The Great Endor says, drawing's looking good, Brian. Thank you. Escape from LA had some fun scenes, but I only ever saw it once. Yeah, me too. Once was enough. I did like the bit where he turns off the world at the end. Again, I think that Escape from LA could have been great. It just turned out to be pretty bad because some of the choices were just fucking cringy. It's like the Spider-Man 3 of John Carpenter movies. Could have been good. Somebody dropped the ball. That's called blind faith, and it's dangerous. Yeah, your friend has blind faith / devotion. Check him before he gets wrecked. Well, he always comes around and admits later on, like when he was a big fan of the Matrix movies. And when the Matrix Reloaded came out, which is the second Matrix movie, he defended the Burly Brawl, which is the fight between Neo and like all those Smiths, those Agent Smiths, when they were all like, cloned and shit. And we were like, dude, the CGI for that looks fucking awful. And he was like, man, the CGI looks great. I don't know what you're talking about. And right. He was like, yeah, you're right. The CGI for that is pretty bad. Like, it's really bad. It was laughably bad. He always comes around eventually. So, like, with these new movies, he was defending them. I remember when The Last Jedi came out, he was like, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I barely got through it. And I didn't go to the theater to watch it either. I was like, fuck that. I'm not giving them my money. You know, I was like, I didn't even really want to go see The Force Awakens because I knew it was going to be trash. But my friends were all going, so I went with them because I that's how good of a friend I am. I'll go watch a shitty ass movie if like my friends are going, you know. Just put some hair on this guy's arm. All right, that'll work. So let's zoom out. Guy's hand is kind of little, but that's okay. You know what? I think I can fix this. We're gonna zoom in. Richard Bier, they have to stop the union film crews in a steady stream of work. Oh, they have to keep the union film crews in a steady stream of work. Whether the product is good or not is irrelevant as long as there is a steady paycheck involved. So you're saying that communists are ruining entertainment. I mean, not that it hasn't always been fucking communists on some level, but the goddamn commies are fucking with everything. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna make this a bit bigger. Oh, wait, what? Am I in the wrong layer? I am. Go to this one. Oops. This is fixable though. I'm just gonna put that there. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. I want him to have meat paws. So that's better. I love when Ron Jeremy was on fucking Jesse Lee Peterson. That was fucking amazing. Amazing. And we'll make this bigger as well and put it there. Give it a slight turn. There we go. Oh shit, dude. That guy's fucking... I grabbed the dude's tricep. That's okay. I'll just do that. All right. All right, cool. So let me just see what I need to adjust. Let me see. Phantom Menace is only the Star Wars movie I ever saw. That was enough for me. Well, that's too bad. That's like you're really starting from the wrong foot there. The Phantom Menace is definitely the worst of the original 6 films, like the original 3 plus the prequels. But I think the Phantom Menace is the fucking Godfather 2 of fucking Star Wars movies compared to fucking The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Those were just, oh my god, they're so bad. They just make me angry. Like, there's like nothing there. I'm sorry, you cannot change my mind about that. You cannot change my mind about that. The Last Jedi is not worth spending money on. It's not worth spending time on. It's not worth it for free. I would rather watch Spider-Man 3. I would rather watch fucking Prometheus. I would rather watch Alien versus Predator 2 or whatever the second one was called. I would rather watch RoboCop 3 than watch any of those things. And yes, those movies shouldn't exist. But if you like put me in a room and you wanted to torture me, make me watch fucking The Last Jedi or Ghostbusters 2016. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so here's this guy getting kicked in the face. I like the face on this guy getting kicked. I think I was pretty happy with the way that turned out. So he's reminiscing, and we'll draw a little bit of there. That's good. That worked out. Spider-Man 3 has emo Parker. It's hilarious. Yeah, it has memes. I'm saying memes came out of Spider-Man 3, you know. And Spider-Man 3, you know, there's a good movie in there. A movie that I think Sam Raimi was trying to make, which involves a Sandman, and Harry Osborn, and Parker. Like, that's good. But the stuff with Gwen Stacy was like kind of pointless. That never went anywhere. And the Venom thing was just like, I mean, I guess he tried to do something with it, but you could tell that Sam Raimi was totally phoning that shit in because he never wanted to do Venom. He never wanted to do Venom. Never wanted to do it. So, all right. Anyhow, what was I saying? Right. So my friend, big Star Wars fan, which he's not the type that I think. It's just like Shaman King said. He was just like. He was wearing rose-tinted glasses because he just really wanted that movie to exist, you know. And then people who buy games, they do the same shit, and it pisses me off because it's the reason why we have like so many shit games made by publishers. They don't have to have standards because there are people who just really want the next thing, and so they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Because they're not being held to anything. I mean, what's with Blizzard just re-releasing World of Warcraft and motherfuckers acting like a new game came out when all they did was go back to formula? Did they actually change anything? I'm just curious. I don't play WoW, and maybe I'm saying some sacrilegious shit right now. I'm just curious because it sounds to me like they literally are just like bringing a game out that existed like in fucking 2005 or whenever the fuck it came out. It was probably before that. And people are acting like they just, you know, they just like broke the mold on great game design. I'm like, all they did was go back to formula on something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm really trying to make another point. I'm just kind of distracted by the WoW thing because I honestly don't know what the fuck's going on. It's what happens when you have no accountability to your customer base. Yeah, because they don't hold you accountable. It's not even like the fault of the people making the shit. It's the fault of the fans because the fans are like, well, this is good. You know, it's like the house that's burning and the dog is like, this is fine. It's just like that. That's literally what's going on with Star Wars. And people are just like, this is fine. And so like with so like with this new Terminator movie, same thing, right? He was defending it. He was like, oh, you know, I think this is going to be good. James Cameron is back, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, it looks like garbage. What is this? James Cameron hasn't been relevant for a while. Like how many, he like, you know, he produced the Alita Battle Angel movie. Why Peter didn't hook up with the landlord's daughter, I'll never know. I know, right? She was like good to go too. She was good to go. But I wouldn't want to deal with that landlord, so maybe that's what it is. I don't know. She was clearly into him. Clearly. What was I saying? Hey, Lady Justice. I'm actually looking forward to you continuing that Detroit non-game because of its narrative and your criticism of it. I know, I gotta do that. I gotta do more of that. I haven't touched Detroit Become Woke since before the ICMI. I've only been streaming everything I've done. So, if you haven't seen it, it's not because I've played anything without you, you know? So I gotta do more of that. I do. I gotta control Z. Let's do this. Zoom out here. Didn't Blizzard feature a new coding team with proper intersectionality? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been following what Blizzard's been doing. So, speaking of game design, so like Zoe Quinn, she like accused this guy, right, of like kind of weird, creepy, fetishy shit. And like whatever, she's a liar. She's, you know, known liar, known grifter. She's just, you know, like people should know this by now. Yet, she got the fucking guy fired. The guy that she accused, he got fucking fired. Now I ask you, if someone who is known for lying, and I don't get why people can't see this, it's obvious to me. If someone who is known for lying and is like not trustworthy gets someone fired, you don't think that there's a vagina pass involved? Like you don't see that confirms that we live in a highly gynocentric culture? A man could not do that. There is no fucking way. There is no way. And now that you mentioned Detroit Become Human, Mother's Basement made a very good video explaining why the game's message failed. Say what you want about Mother's Basement, but his video is very spot on. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But I talked about how the video doesn't, the game's message doesn't make sense because they're talking about, first of all, literal artificial people, for one, that were made by us, that rise up against us. So that doesn't make sense in terms of its the kind of analogy. But more than that, the androids are superior to humans in every way. In every way. That's why they're literally taking their jobs. This isn't like a, you know, some kind of paranoid delusion that often the left attributes to people who are worried about losing their jobs. Like, oh, you're just mad because there were jobs you don't want to do or whatever, right? That's just your privilege talking. No, they're actually doing that. So like all of their complaints are valid. And they are perfect. So if he's trying to make a political statement, compare it to Black Lives Matter or whatever, and he even uses an African-American android to be like the leader of the revolution. I think that's who he's supposed to be. I haven't gotten that far yet, so I don't know. I mean, how is that wrong? You know? Let's see here. Are both the new Blade Runner as well as the Mad Max movies actually that good? I think they mostly shine because they're amongst the scrap heap. I think they're okay. They're pretty good. I don't look. Mad Max Fury Road. If someone tells you that movie's not feminist, they're full of shit. It is trying to be, even if it fails at it. In some ways, it's still trying to be, and that's really obvious. But I can still enjoy a movie that's woke, while also like refuting the fact that, you know, it's like not done well, like where the politics are I wouldn't say I disagree with them. I would just say that they're wrong. I can do that, right? And I think that Fury Road does that. And what was the other movie you mentioned? Blade Runner. Runner is pretty. Much as I think that ultimately, when it comes to movies like Blade Runner, it's impossible to satisfy everyone with a sequel. Now, I don't think that a sequel for Blade Runner was needed. And it's definitely got flaws, but I didn't hate it. If you want to chuckle, look for a video called The 5 Stages of Mercedes. As one who knows the joy of waifus, you could probably relate. Who? Sorry. Whoa, that line is really straight. How did that happen? I must have accidentally held the shift key or something. So yeah, he was originally excited for Terminator Dark Fate, and I told him I don't think it's going to be any good. But then he posted about the new trailer, which just came out today. And he said that his excitement for this movie is diminished, even though James Cameron is working on it. That means that it must be a really bad trailer, or at least it, like, you know, the cringe is real. I don't know. So I'm like, I want to check this trailer out. I want to see how bad it is. So I guess we'll see. I'll start it up at about 12:50 ish, because I don't want to go over too much, because I got running around to do, unfortunately. And then I'll try to do more work on this later in the afternoon. Yesterday wasn't good for me, but I'm also trying to get Mr. Reagan to come on a show with me. I'm waiting to hear back from him. If I can get him, I'll get him on today. We'll just chat about things, you know. Did anyone see that Hellboy reboot movie? I heard it was really bad. Yeah, I heard it was really, really bad. I did not. I had no interest. The guy from Stranger Things is playing Hellboy in it. And even though Ron Perlman is fucking crazy as fuck right now too, like, they both have like terminal fucking Trump derangement syndrome. It's really sad. that guy, the Stranger Things guy, I forget his name. He played Hopper or Hooper or whatever the name of the cop was. Yeah, that guy's pretty awful in this movie from what I hear. And it's not surprising. Can't say I'm surprised. Do you know who made Skynet? Oh, man. Wait, is that in the trailer? Please don't tell me that's in the trailer. I will flip out. Remember in T3 when Skynet made itself? You know what? Terminator 3 is looking really good right now. I mean, I would say that it was a movie that never should have existed. We should have gotten... This is what it should have been. Tell me if I'm wrong. This is how it should have been. Okay? Terminator... Then Terminator 2, Judgment Day, which is great. And then Terminator 3 should have been taking place in the future, and we see what the fuck John Connor did. And that's it. And that's the end. End of the story. You go to the past, where the Terminator tries to kill the woman, then they send the T-1000 to try to kill the son. Then that's it. They fail at that, and it's time for the future to happen, where John Connor actually defeats Skynet. I want to see how that happens, and they didn't do it, even when they could have done it. That's all they had to do, is tell the story. Give us John Connor and the Resistance versus Skynet. Just give us that. They couldn't fucking do it. Mick G dropped the ball. I don't even know why anyone would even hire a fucking music video director best known for Charlie's Angels to direct Terminator, but they did, and he dropped the ball unsurprisingly. It should have just been that. That would be the end of the franchise. The end. Nobody wants their movies to end anymore and like give people great memories. The fuck? But what about the toy sales and milking the franchise? Well, I mean, you can do other things. You can make video games. You could make fucking a cartoon show for the kids. I don't care. They made a fucking cartoon show out of Rambo and Conan. I honestly don't know how they did that. Like, how do you take like R-rated fucking content? How do you take R-rated fucking content and make Saturday morning cartoons out of it? They like did like they did that with they did it with Rambo, they did it with Conan, they did it with Mr. T had his own cartoon somehow. He like hung out with these kids and it was really weird. They did it with fucking RoboCop had a cartoon. RoboCop? Did you see that movie? I'm like, what? Band of Brothers-esque future war film. Yes, that's all you gotta do, man. You make John Connor and his little like ragtag group of fucking characters, and they go against Skynet, and we see how it happened. You could totally have done that. It'd be basically Predator, but in the future against robots. I mean, Schwarzenegger could be in it as multiple Terminators. I don't know. How about... Okay, wait. What do you think of Tulsi Gabbard? Off topic, I know. Well, welcome, Mandrake. I've never seen you before. Tulsi Gabbard for Democrat is okay. I'm telling you right now, unless she really impresses me, like if, let's say it's her that gets on the ticket, which I don't think she will, because I don't think the DNC will allow it. Unless she really impresses me and does not run on the ticket of I'm a whammon, so vote for me. Okay, that's the condition. She has to earn my respect. And that means not saying I'm a whammon. Therefore, you know, if she does that, she will have my respect. I won't vote for her though, because I'm done with Democrats. Done forever. I voted for them. And unless I see some really dramatic changes, which I think would be antithetical to the Democratic platform, like not trying to make everything free, and like maybe they just ran on, and I don't think being anti-war or world police, I don't think that those are necessarily Democratic things, because Hillary Clinton was quite the hawk. And I think I see a lot of people on the right that are against wars, because, you know, that's like another way of expanding the state, right? So unless she changes that and does not run on whammon, I'm not going to vote for her. But I think that she is the most palatable person in the DNC. I will say that, if that makes any sense. But she is smashable. Yeah. How about sequels that retroactively invalidate the protagonist's previous accomplishments? Yeah, like Terminator Genesis? Is that what you mean? Or fucking The Last Jedi and Force Awakens? Star Wars and shit itself, which they fucking killed, and it is dead. Stop defending it. It's over. It's over for Star Wars. The DNC hasn't forgiven her for supporting Bernie over Hillary. Yeah, but also she doesn't match what they want to put in place, because the DNC doesn't let people run. They actually they come together because they're more collectivist, and they decide who should represent us, and everyone else gets excluded, and they know who they're excluding by the fact that they're not involved in the conversation. So that's why Bernie got pushed out. But you know what? I don't want Bernie to win either. He's a fucking nut job. No, thank you. Decent would smash material Mandrake, not ideal president regardless of her having served in the military for her politics. What about a single payer health system? How do you feel about it? I don't know. I don't know. I know I don't want universal health care. I think that we need something, though. I mean, we need something that's better. The left has never been anti-war. They are only anti-war against communist countries. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So the anti-war thing, I know that's Tulsi's big thing, is she's anti-war and anti God damn it, the word is like on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, we know that about her, but I don't think that's unique to the left. So, you know, we shouldn't pretend like, you know, she's the only hope we have of like changing that. I don't agree. Her hair game is weak as fuck, but I love her all the same, Lady Justice. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys are having a private conversation on my goddamn stream. The left or Democrats aren't the party of the working class. If anything I've heard regarding the period of 1955 to 1980 is true. Yeah, they say they are because they want the votes. It's all a means to an end. There's no such thing as bad tactics, only bad targets. That applies to them. The Great Indoors. I don't know. I like how in Terminator 1 and 2, you only got glimpses of that bleak future. I dig that. It's like with Alien and the alien spaceship with all the eggs. It keeps you wondering. Yeah, there is a bit of mystique that you want to preserve with the Terminator movies. But I'm saying if you're going to make another one, it should be the end. Because you can only drag out the let's send a robot back in time thing. You can only do that so many times. Honestly, you can only do that so many times before it's like, and I think twice is the limit, because I like Terminator 3, actually, Rise of the Machines. I liked it. I didn't think it was as good as obviously not as good as the other two, but definitely better than all the ones that came after. And the problem with Terminator 3 is they were out of ideas. Like, okay, well, how do we like top the T-1000? Well, I don't know. Let's make the Terminatrix, and then we'll make it a mix between a Terminator and a T-1000. As I'm like, is that really a step forward? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that. So yeah, it's a bit confusing. I don't know if I think that you have to be careful, and I think there's only so many times you can do that, you can pull that. So that's why I'm saying, if you're going to make another movie, you should end the story. You should just end it. That's my thoughts. But I mean, ideally, you shouldn't make any more movies, because it is the end. And I don't think that you necessarily need to Here we go. I hope Tulsi gets red-pilled in the aftermath of this election and goes Republican/Libertarian. Yeah, that would be good. I think that she could be a really great I mean, in a perfect world, she'd be libertarian in my mind, but I just don't see the Libertarian Party becoming relevant. So she should probably just run the Republican ticket. I think that's, honestly, I still hold on to the idea that I think that's the reason why Trump, he ran as a Republican, because I think he knew that if he ran as a Democrat, he'd get pushed out. So we're having a separate convo on your stream. Yeah, it seems that way. At this point, I'm convinced men and women in power aren't capable of doing anything but making things worse. Yeah. The vote for women was a mistake. Sorry. At least under the conditions that we put them in, like the way that we did it, it was a mistake. So there you go. That's my own Hassan moment. Except that you guys don't disagree in a video game. Holy shit, dude. All right, so it is 12:50. I'm gonna stop it here. Let me save where I'm at. Let me see what this looks like. Okay, let's turn off this layer. No, that guy's fine. This one. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. Okay. All right, let me save where I'm at. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this video up so that we can check it out. Just give me a second to prepare the screen. Repeal the 19th. Why didn't Skynet send a Terminator to kill Sarah Connor when she was a baby? Because then you'd have another movie about Sarah Connor's mother or father, probably mother though, let's be real, like defending her, I guess. I don't know, like from the Terminator. Yeah, that's probably what would happen, honestly. So I think that's the reason. All right, just give me a second, guys. I apologize. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to this. We're gonna watch this video. I'm gonna go back. Let me turn off this music. And I'm gonna put on my headphones so I can listen without you guys getting terrible feedback. Okay, so we're gonna check out the Terminator Dark Fate trailer. See how it goes. I'll try to pause. I'll pause every 30 seconds so I don't get fucking, I don't know, removed or something. I don't think that'll happen, but it'll probably get blocked. So let's check it out. Oh, RIP headphone users. Sorry about that. Let me lower it a little bit.
Talk fast.
Holy shit, she looks terrible. Somebody is haggard as fuck. Oh man, Linda Hamilton has seen better days. Holy shit, I'm sorry. She looks like Nosferatu in a wig. Holy crap. All right, moving on. How fast was that? I'm gonna see that again. Because they try to make it look fast. This is like some kind of, I think it's some sort of like, my guess is that woman, the anorexic woman, she's a cyborg that doesn't know she's a cyborg or something. She's some kind of hybrid that's unaware, like a Manchurian candidate or a plant or something. I don't know. Yeah, the wall. She is the wall. This is like the wall has come and it is here to stay. Jesus Christ. All right, let's go. Those nice jump cuts, guys. Yeah, that wasn't very fast, but okay.
First. My name is Sarah Connor. August 29, 1997. It's supposed to be Judgment Day. But then I changed the future.
I'm a woman. Yeah, woof, God. She just, Jesus Christ. How old is she? I don't think she's that old. I thought that, like, so Sarah Connor was like, I'm sorry, Linda Hamilton in the first Terminator movie that came out in like 1981 or 82, pretty early in the 80s. I think it was 82. She was a young girl in her 20s. I'm pretty sure she was in her 20s. I mean, granted, she always had like a high testosterone face. She's always had that. To me, I never thought she was hot. I don't know why people do. I never thought she was. She just looked a little too masculine in the face for me. Like her jawline was like pretty fucking angular. I think James Cameron is into that. That's just me. But if she was in her 20s in the 80s, then she's got to be in her 50s now. And I mean, I've seen women in their 50s can still look good. She looks like, you know what she looks like? She looks like if somebody took like Joe Biden and used the sex change filter on it, like the gender filter. That's what she looks like. She looks like that. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, she changed the future. Yeah, that happened. I think that what James Cameron did is he's retconning everything after Terminator 2. So this is like supposedly, because he's behind it, the real sequel to Terminator 2. So she should be 63 now. She was born in 1956. Oh, okay. That means she was kind of old in Terminator then, huh? Well, she was in her 20s then. Oh, I don't know. Anyway.
Saved 3 billion lives. Enough of a risk for you. No. I think we have changed the future. We change our fate.
All right, just pausing for the banana there. We're still learning things. I think we're going to see more stuff here. Okay, let's keep going. So she's 63. I've still seen women that like hold up better than this in their 60s, you know? I mean, like Carrie Fisher, who was in the Star Wars movies, right? Princess Leia. She looks bad, or looked. Sorry, she looked bad, but she didn't look this bad. And Carrie Fisher had a history of like alcohol and drug abuse, like really serious problems, right? Like Linda, like, you know, Lindsay Lohan, she's gonna look like Linda Hamilton in about 20 years. She's already heading there now. That's why she wears a hijab now, because she's like trying to hide how old she's getting because of how many drugs and how much alcohol she consumes. She's like wasting away. 1984. Okay. I forgot. You know, I feel like everything comes out earlier than it did in the 80s. So thanks for telling me that, Iron Adam John. I did watch it, but I didn't see it in theaters. We didn't get out very much. I had to watch it on cable like many years later. So Wait a minute. Is that is that Chuck? Is that the guy who played Shazam? I want to see that again. That was a Terminator that split into something else. Like, why? What's the point of that? I guess so you can multiply. How does that work? Does this thing create matter from nowhere? Or is that thing extra dense when it lands and it becomes a little bit lighter? I don't know. Oh, look, they sent another Terminator back in time. It's not Zachary Levi. No, I know. Or Levy. I say Levy. Is it Levi or Levy?
Almost human.
I'm human. Just enhanced.
Wait, what? So she is a cyborg woman that has been enhanced. What is that? Is that a fence? Oh, look, she has a serial number. She's just another product. This is objectification, James Cameron. What the fuck, my dude? It's Levy. It's his middle name.
Just enhanced. Why do you know what happens to her?
Because I was her.
I can see you're very upset.
Oh, he's not playing a Terminator in this, or maybe he is. I'm not really sure. So they have to protect this girl. Are they going to tell us why? Because I need to know why it matters. Enhanced. Oh boy. Okay, let's see.
I'm going to help you protect the girl.
Nobody else is gonna die because of me. If you don't make it, everybody dies.
It's like a big pain rod. Whole body's a weapon.
Oh, brother. So they're sending another whatever. Maybe that thing they showed earlier that split into two. Maybe that's what this guy is. I mean, I guess if you're going to step up your game in terms of like the threat level of the antagonist, that's the only way you could go, is a Terminator that can make other Terminators. See, now that would be interesting. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but here's what would be interesting. A Terminator composed of nanomachines. This is like ridiculously powerful, so I'm going really OP here. But a Terminator that consists of nanomachines whose purpose, outside of essentially making the Terminator like adaptable to every situation by simply repurposing themselves and like altering the physical state of the Terminator, like, you know, so he can make guns and he can turn his body into various things and maybe even like hide amongst like other, like he could turn into, for example, a table. It might be made out of metal, but he'll like blend in, he could change the color and all that. But not only that, but nanomachines that are programmed to create other nanomachines out of the environment. So a Terminator that can itself duplicate itself. Maybe that's the limit might be that it's only programmed to make other Terminators and they're all kind of connected. But it could like essentially duplicate itself by taking other matter, living or dead, and essentially just consuming that matter, and then they repurpose it to create new machines, more nano machines, which can compose of more Terminators. So that could be a way they could go. I think that would be like a way that you could make things more challenging in my opinion. But I don't know. Let's see. Oh, and he's Border Patrol. Is this going to be a statement about borders? I'm waiting for the wokeness. I mean, they already have some with the women protecting women thing, and like I guess the man. I don't know if Schwarzenegger is a Terminator or if he's a guy that just happens to look like that. I think it's a Terminator that's going to show them how to, defend themselves. But we'll see.
Sorry.
This is all over. I am going to kill you.
That's the same.
Why would shit's blowing up? Why would a Terminator grow a beard? Why? I get that Schwarzenegger is aging, but why would a Terminator grow a beard? It's so sad to see him old. You know that? It's so sad to see him old. It breaks my heart, honestly. I mean, you know what's coming? You know that meme where they have like a photo? It's been going around now. They show a person when they're young and happy, and they have this piano playing in the background, and they alter the photo to age them, and then at the end they disappear because everyone grows old and dies. It's such a sad meme. It's the saddest meme. But I see that when I look at Schwarzenegger here, I see that piano music is playing in my head. Zarank says, if Linda Hamilton had more testosterone in her, wouldn't she age better? Wouldn't that mean that the machines are having a terrible time in the future if the new breed still needs to go to the past to stop Sarah Connor? Yeah, it would. Rumors suggest he was a Terminator that killed young John Connor and causes this alternate timeline. Oh, okay. So this is a Terminator, maybe, that killed... So John Connor is dead. What the fuck? So she changed the past, but it killed her son, and now someone else, that woman, is going to be like the new savior. So they're replacing John Connor with a woman. Even though John Connor was always the MacGuffin. He wasn't like the man in terms of like someone. He's not like Luke Skywalker, right? Like Luke Skywalker accomplishes things. He does stuff. John Connor is supposed to have done something, but how he does stuff is not relevant. So he is more like the ball in the Terminator movies. In the first one, John Connor is the one that's supposed to save everyone. So the Terminator has to kill the mother so that John Connor is never born. The assumption is that would be easy, except they send Kyle Reese back in time, and Kyle Reese helps Sarah Connor, fight the Terminator, even after he sacrifices himself. It's definitely a little bit of wokeness in the original Terminator movie, don't get me wrong, but it's fine because the movies are good. And then the second one, John Connor remains the ball. He's not really able to defend himself, so they send a Terminator back in time to save him that they reprogrammed. And Sarah Connor helps, but she's not a big part of it. The Terminator, ultimately, it's really his movie. So, like, I don't know. I think that they took John Connor out of the picture as a ball then, if that's true. If what Exploding Prinny is saying is true, which I could believe it. I could believe it. Anyway, just saying, sad to see the Schwarzenegger's old. So, let's continue.
That's the same.
Shit's blowing up. Cars are exploding. Yeah.
I'll be back.
Oh, God. Oh my God. That was so cringe. Oh no. They had her take the. She said the line. She should not have said the line. That's not her line. Oh my God. That's like giving. That's like giving Jared Taylor the N-word pass. She should not have said that line. I'll be back. God fucking damn it. And the walk away from the explosion shit, it's so tired. Why did the super enhanced Terminator like duck for cover or whatever this bitch is with the stick? Look at how Sarah Connor has no fucks to give, but this enhanced human being, whatever it is, the Zier, she like ducks and covers when the grenade goes off because she's not fucking Sarah Connor, I guess. It wasn't even that much of an explosion. It was like way over there. My theory on John Connor being possible despite time travel. Sarah Connor was going to have a booty call or unfortunately worse, and that baby would grow up to be John Connor. Oh, you mean instead of Kyle Reese? Well, that's the thing about the first movie is it's a closed loop. Like they didn't really have to do another one. It's a closed loop because it happens exactly like Kyle Reese going back in time is, I mean, that is the reason. Like the Terminator Skynet sending a Terminator back in time to stop Sarah Connor is what seals the deal. It's basically the story of Perseus. You know that? It literally is. It's the story of Perseus just told with robots and time travel. It's exactly the same. And I think that, you know, obviously successful movie, let's make more, but Caffeinated Wizard says Gary. Jared Taylor is going to say the N-word regardless. I've never heard him say it, but I mean, I'm saying giving him a pass though, because Jared Taylor slobs knobs. Plot twist: Sarah Connor is another Zier. The only thing I guess about this movie is it is pretty. There are a majority of women in it. It's not the end of the world, but I see how. Have you noticed how if you only look at these three movies, the ones that are sort of James Cameron approved, you got Terminator 1, and I think that one's probably the manliest of them, where Kyle Reese is where the testosterone's coming from. Fucking Michael Biehn, because he's the shit, okay? And he fights against Terminator with Sarah Connor. Now, ultimately, he dies. He sacrifices himself, and Sarah Connor carries on. Not before he taps that ass, though, and puts a seed inside of her, which is essentially Kyle Reese saves, humanity by impregnating Sarah Connor, and then he dies right afterwards because his job is done. But it's still the most masculine one of the three movies. Because Kyle Reese does so. I mean, the Terminator is a machine. One could argue that it's masculine, but I think it's just a machine. So I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Then in the second movie, there is no Kyle Reese equivalent. Instead, you got John Connor. Now, John Connor is an annoying kid because kids in action movies are almost always annoying kids, with some exceptions. I can't think of any off the top of my head. The kid from Iron Man 3 wasn't that bad, but anyway, so now you got John Connor, so there's less masculinity in it already. And you have Miles Dyson, who was the black guy that built Skynet, and he kills himself. He's the one who makes the sacrifice, but he's not as manly. He's actually domesticated and soft, and he has a family, and he's not really good with weapons, and he's kind of nerdy, and so it's a very different thing from like a survivor soldier freedom fighter character like Kyle Reese was. And so they help fight the Terminator, the second one. And then this movie, in Terminator 2, Linda Hamilton's character, Sarah Connor, is a lot more assertive and masculine. but now it's a woman doing it. Whereas in the first film, she was very girly, and she was, passive and agreeable and scared of everything and insecure and kind of weak, and Kyle made her stronger. So he helped her, man the fuck up, basically. And then the second movie, she's a lot more assertive, even though what she's doing is more annoying than anything else. If you watch Terminator 2, Sarah Connor does dumb shit. She's actually she creates more problems. She creates more problems than she fixes, in a way, because she's kind of crazy. Now, we liked that she was crazy, because why wouldn't you be crazy if you experience what you experienced in the first film and nobody believes you, right? Now, in the third movie, there are no boys or men, and it's all women, and there's one woman who's masculine, which is this kind of, I guess they're trying to make her masculine, which is this android or whatever it is, right? And they replaced all the women. So they replaced the male characters with women. So basically, there are all women. Now, I'm not saying that anyone was literally replaced, but what I'm saying is the direction of these films has been moving towards, slowly over time, more feminine leads, more female centered story. And even if you include all of the movies that James Cameron would not consider to be Terminator movies, they have done that. Terminator 3 is about John Connor and his wife to be, his wife to be, and they're surviving and they have an outdated Terminator. So you could say symbolic of outdated masculinity, which is the T-800 that's helping them. It's an obsolete model, and they're what are they up against? The Terminatrix, which is a female Terminator that's super advanced, right? Why would you even need to gender robots? A T-1000 should be able to look like a woman, which it did in Terminator 2. So I wouldn't consider the T-1000 to be a man, but the people who created Terminator 3 and the other ones, they did see the AI, the robots, even Skynet was gendered. Remember in Terminator, what's the Terminator movie that had Christian Bale in it that Mick G made? I had it on the Terminator Salvation. In Terminator Salvation, Skynet turned out to be fucking, the what's her name? Tim Burton's old girlfriend from the Helena Bonham Carter, right? I believe that's her name. The Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland. She was the master computer that ran everything. Was her, and I don't even remember. Terminator Salvation is so bad, I can't remember much of it. But I do remember Skynet being her, and I remember Christian Bale yelling at people in that rant that he did because McG is a terrible director that doesn't actually have control over his fucking, his set. And I remember Sam Worthington that was in that, and how he has no fucking charisma whatsoever. I that's what I remember, and I think they sent another Terminator or something. I can't remember. And then there was Terminator Genesis, which was so bad, where they decided, okay, we're gonna make John Connor a villain now, right? So you could see how these have been kind of going along, and how they've treated the male characters in this franchise. And I'm not saying they are all woke, but I think that's a bit of it. I think that's a bit of it. There's pandering going on, at least. And it is, I think, playing a role. And this movie, I am not excited. Honestly, I'm not excited for anything Hollywood has done for a while. Everything that I tend to it's out of left field, or it's from smaller companies that are more interested in telling good stories. For example, as far as animated shit goes, you know who my favorite people are right now? It's not Pixar, because Pixar has gone downhill a lot. It's not Pixar. I'm not excited for anything they put out. After Incredibles 2, I threw my hands up. I said, you guys have fucked up for the last time. I'm not watching your movies anymore. I'm done with Pixar. After Incredibles 2, that's it. It's definitely not Disney, because fuck them. They don't know what they're doing. It's definitely not... Well, DreamWorks is okay. but they're not my favorite. I didn't watch the last How to Train Your Dragon. I thought that didn't look like it looked like it was kind of woke, like here's a new dragon and it's female. Like, get out of here. But Laika, they are the shit. Like, I haven't seen anything from them that I haven't liked, and a lot of the stuff that they've made I've absolutely loved. Laika does the stop motion. In case you don't know who they are, they're known for Coraline, Paranorman, Box Trolls, Kubo and the Two Strings, those guys. And their movies are really good, especially Paranorman and Kubo and the Two Strings. Those are so good, and they are centered on positive examples of maleness. And look, I'm not saying I have to have, like the feminist argument is I need women in movies to make me feel like a person. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is to see something that represents maleness, even if it's boys, that could be appealing to boys, that celebrates family. These things are a breath of fresh air. And that's actually what a lot of their movies are about. But in particular, Kubo and the Two Strings is about family, and it's about boyhood and becoming a man, right? And so, like, how many movies are like that now? Very, very few. Kubo is really good if you've never seen it. Paranorman is similar. There's a boy that saves everyone, and there's a girl that's the villain, and the reason why is because she's angry at the world, and so she lashes out, and it's very symbolic of how the masculine can tame the feminine. I thought that was a bold move. If you've never seen Paranorman, watch it and you'll see what I mean. So Laika Studios is doing good work, but most of what Hollywood makes is shit. I'm not excited for it. I'm sorry. It's just I'm not like fucking the new Star Wars. Who gives a shit? Evil Rey, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. Star Wars is dead. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is dead. There might be a couple of fun movies that may come out of it, but as a franchise, I don't give a shit about it. Terminator is dead. This is not exciting. I don't care. I mean, it might be fun to watch on like Amazon when it becomes free. I might check it out. I don't know, but I don't really give a shit. All of this stuff is just like, they don't know how to make content. Like, they literally don't, because they don't have a grasp on what the fundamental root elements, the core elements to a good story. They've lost that. All that postmodernist shit has destroyed them. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap up the stream. Thank you for coming on my Comicsgate art stream, plus reaction video to Terminator Genesis. Let me just take a look at sad Schwarzenegger one more time. Oh man, so old. She even says she's gonna kill him when this is over. Something tells me though that if it, everything goes well, she probably will decide not to. Like, she'll be like, oh, I guess this is, whatever. I don't know. But give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this trailer, and tell me what you think about Englewood. So if anything, that's it for me. I want to thank you guys for coming on the Comicsgate art stream. I have been Brian. You guys have been awesome, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.